Hey guys, this is AnimeBallZ here, and today we're going to be doing the 6th part of What If Deku or the stat leveling quirk. I really think you guys are going to like what's in store for this part. Compared to the parts prior, there is a lot of action in this one. I think it's just because of the arcs that followed. The last arc in the last part is mainly action based, so you're going to be seeing a lot of fights and Deku is going to be improving a lot throughout this part. There's nothing much else I want to say in the intro, so without further ado, let's get into the video.
Winter time, all the time, ooh, yeah. Look at the way that I move, swag, disrespectful and I'm rude, okay. I had cocaine in the school.
Gran Torino smirks and says that's quite a bit of progress in a minute. However, you are far off the target. You need to be able to harness that power within your entire body at once to enhance yourself physically and your quirk alongside that. The night of the first day comes along and Deku and Bakugo don't even talk to each other, they just trade on their own and don't make contact with each other. Deku is heavily inspired by Bakugo's power to greatly enhance his strength in sickle strikes. With his astounding smarts, he can quickly see that this is a very valuable skill to have, however he mainly has the ability to enhance his entire body. His Ironside Fist does enhance his fist for a deadly strike, but it certainly isn't as deadly as what he saw from Bakugo. That punch probably would have left him out of training for up to 2 weeks. He did just surpass Bakugo, but with this new add-on to his already powerful quirk, the gap is clear. Deku has fallen behind. Even if Bakugo's arm is currently in a cast, he will soon get strong enough to house the power and gain immense powers. Luckily, Deku isn't the type of person to just give up, but instead he finds a strategy. And he swears to himself that he will perform it to the best of his ability. His main tasks as of now are to make static charge almost natural to him. That extra power boost is certainly something he needs. Also, he should dabble into his electrical manipulation to copy the power of One For All. The next morning, Deku and Bakugo both get to try again at trying to touch Gran Torino. Bakugo's arm is healed at the hospital since there's probably a good few people with useful healing quirks. Now, both of you should try and get me. Now you have experience with my speed and technique, so this should be easy enough now. Bakugo's palms glow and Deku's clothes rustle from the emitting current. Deku speeds over to grab his new mentor, but as expected, he lands directly on the roof before launching off to an adjacent wall. Bakugo jabs his arm forward and releases an explosion. It's quite minor for what he's done before, and it makes Deku confused as to what he's up to. Deku begins using Ironside Fist and starts tracking the small and fast hero. He reaches out and misses once again, but Bakugo leaps from the wall and predicts his movement. He swipes with his hand and just about misses, but he releases an extremely powerful explosion. Gran Torino is hurled across the room, but he manages to safely land, something Bakugo also predicted. He catches his mentor and the fight ends. As expected, the one with One For All. Deku, this means there's more work for you. Be ready, but don't think I'm pushing you away. All Might was clear to me that you have it in you to rival this man here. Whatever quirk you have must be amazing. On the third day, Bakugo and Deku are taken to train in the aspect of fighting villains. Bakugo can't wait, but Deku seems much more calm about it, relentlessly muttering to himself about it. On the train there, the train is destroyed by a hurling hero. Once Nomu enters the train, Bakugo is the first to act. He launches a massive explosion to his face and then Deku knocks it right out of the train using his Ironside Fist. Gran Torino, while running to the opening in the train, says, "Stay put, boys." He takes a large leap from the train, following after the falling Nomu. Bakugo says, "I'm going out." He then follows through the opening, leading Deku to follow after him. Right now, Deku is filled with an urge to fight, but also fear from the fact that he's flying out from a train. However, he controls electricity directly into his legs and starts using Thor's rage. Bakugo lands gracefully from his explosions and Deku sausage rolls violently after. "Get up, weakling," Bakugo demands, completely blinded by his violent impulses. Deku slowly arises and just follows after his rival. Both Bakugo and Deku find Tenya fighting Stain and jump in to save the day. Blood is spread across the alleyway and Tenya is stuck to the ground for some reason. Bakugo finds it rather peculiar. It doesn't stop him from charging in though. He runs wildly then slams down with his new explosive ability. Once his hand connects with the ground, the spark is ignited and the explosions expand violently. Stain swerves directly out of the way of this explosion with his impressive agility and goes directly for Bakugo. However, Deku punches him away with Ironside Fist. As Stain stumbles back, he tries to swing and get just a prick of his blood. However, Deku's new speed allows him to track the sword and dodge it. Immediately after doing this, he completely surprises Stain and leaves him open for another explosion from Bakugo. He goes flying across the alleyway but catches himself by stabbing his sword into the ground. "He is no joke," Deku exclaims, but he awkwardly stops himself when Bakugo turns around to look at him. New quest, Hero Killer Stain. Survive as long as you can against the infamous Hero Killer. Quest rewards, every 1 minute equals 70 XP, 3 minutes equals 1 skill upgrade, 5 minutes equals 100 XP, 300 XP. I'm guessing if I kill him or win, I'd get 300 XP. He must be insanely strong if I'm being given minutes for surviving against this guy, Deku deduces. "Go, please, this has nothing to do with you. Just go and save yourselves," Tenya orders, with his eyes starting to water up. "Just be quiet and let us fight. He doesn't even seem that strong anyway." Bakugo says, starting to run at Stain. Wait, if he gets your blood, you won't be able to move your body, Tenya shouts, trying to get Bakugo's attention, but he doesn't listen in the slightest. He leaps into the air and places out his palms, releasing a bunch of explosions. It keeps the entire alleyway bright through the darkness of the night. Stain is already climbing the wall with his impressive swordsmanship. With him now invested in climbing, Deku pounces. He starts running up the wall with static charge as well as Norse power. While midair, he retrieves his maul and strikes him completely off the wall. He dives down from the wall and hurls his maul downward. However, Stain sacrifices one of his smaller daggers to absorb the force. He dodges an explosion from Bakugo, then swings at his abdomen. Deku rugby tackles him out of the way and sends him tumbling into a nearby wall. Stain rushes at them, eager for just a drip of blood. However, Bakugo uses one for all and lands a punch directly on his jaw. The force even surprises Tenya as well as Deku. It releases a large shockwave and also cracks his jawbone. As Stain tries to reach in on them again, Todoroki sends him flying with a dense block of ice. That location message was really vague, Zuko, Todoroki says in a monotone voice. All three heroes stand in a line to face the villain. Tenya is taken aback by the sight ahead of him. The three strongest of 1A all stand together to partake in battle. It's something that some would only dream of witnessing, a new big three. It just saddens Tenya that he isn't one of them. Todoroki launches out a mass of fire with his left hand and Deku actually sends current through the flames. Bakugo flies over the flames with his newly powered explosions, but he is a little unstable from his busted arm. Stain gets a few burns but races forwards once the fire dies down. Deku controls his electricity into his arm as much as he can. It really takes considerable focus and effort, leaving him standing still. However, he's partially successful. The electricity is unstable, but it's certainly condensed. He punches Stain to the side, but is then cut and stuck in this position. Todoroki blocks him with a wall of ice and steps away as much as he can. Bakugo throws a swing and almost gets cut by Stain, but saves himself with his very own explosions. The group go back and forth for a while and seem to be able to keep themselves together. Bakugo and Todoroki have much more chemistry than anyone could have possibly imagined. When Bakugo wants to fight, he can fight. Plus 210 XP, plus 1 skill upgrade chosen, electricity to current control. The user can control electricity even into minor body parts such as the fingers. The user's electricity can heal and enhance the cells of any body including themselves. This is even down to minor functions such as respiration speed or cell life. They chose for me, it's another golden one, so that's good. Now I need to actually get moving. Deku says, desperately trying to get back into the battle. Todoroki reaches out and strikes with an ice-coated fist but is cut with a blade. He gets frozen and Bakugo kicks Stain into a building wall behind him. Damn it, you're leaving me alone out here, Bakugo states, trying to hide his fear. At the end of the day, this guy's completely crazy and gone in the head, so that adds to his fear. He hurls a sword at Bakugo, stabbing into his chest. He wheezes and falls back, holding the wound. Every breath feels like his lung will fall in or something. It's truly agonizing. Stain smiles as he reaches in happily, intending to lick the blood of Bakugo directly off his ripped shirt. However, Deku comes in out of nowhere and controls electricity into his single arm. Stalin slides across the ground once he lands, and Deku rips the blade from his friend's chest and heals the open wound with his glowing hand. With his other hand, he grabs Bakugo's arm and both start to heal. Stain rushes in to try and take advantage of this, but Bakugo kicks him back. Then he gets walloped by a kick from Tenya. Bakugo controls one fall into his left arm, and Deku controls his electricity directly into his right. The three fighters charge at Stain with vehement roars. Bakugo's fist glows and small explosions spark off. All three fighters land their strong attacks simultaneously, destroying Stain in the process. The explosion alerts several heroes in the area. What sort of hero could have let off an explosion like that? One hero on the roof next to the battle side peers over the building wall to see three popular 1A students being healed with electricity. Deku Thorson, he exclaims, in awe of the sight ahead of him. The infamous hero killer Stain has been subdued by three boys. It's truly unbelievable. The group don't get healed since Deku just heals the majority of their injuries. All they are left with is bruises or scratches on their skin. It's remarkable. Quest complete. Hero killer Stain, plus 400 XP. Level up, plus 1 to all physical stats. Deku and Bakugo finish off their training with their senile mentor and gain new levels of power. Bakugo can actually use 5% in a minute part of his body and not get hurt. It's very useful, but 2 strikes in the same area will certainly destroy that arm. Deku is also getting used to his new golden trait. You can basically copy Bakugo's power and it has power rivaling the Ironside Fist. He desires to grow this power and bring it to the same level as Bakugo's ability. Also, he wants to make static charge even more natural. In the race in Playground Gamma, Deku takes his time to shine. People believe that he will probably take the win home, but others believe that his electrical output doesn't do much for his speed. Once the race begins, Deku shocks everyone with his athleticism. His explosive start takes him 30 meters ahead in the span of merely 2 seconds. He activates static charge but also adds electricity into his abs and legs. My legs should make my strides more powerful, but abs mean that I can pull my legs higher and quicker to further enhance my speed. He speeds ahead and maneuvers throughout the construction site with astounding speed. He doesn't look to be that tired too, as he just continues with his running. His strength is even more surprising than his speed. He's able to pull himself up and over parts of the site with ease and do very acrobatic flips. Deku believes that since he chose the Viking system type, it makes it easier for him to gain strength and muscular mass. He is also 5'10" now, so his growth spurt continues. He is around 172 pounds, being not too big but not too small either. Deku speeds ahead, and once his static charge fades, he begins using Thor's Rage. The electrical output is much more than before. His speed increases above 45 miles per hour and makes him a blur to people that try and view him. His strides are precise and have good form. Every step he takes is efficient and calculated. This increases his already evident lead and gives him the win in this race. He drops to his knees after he finishes and is exhausted. The electricity really drains him, but he still powers through and races to his feet. Now for the final exams. I believe that Deku's term results would be identical since he's taken no time to increase his intelligence in the system, but Bakugo's will increase. It races from 3rd to 2nd, outplacing Tenyiida. The day of the exercise test comes and Deku and Bakugo are pitted against their favourite hero, All Might. These two have gained much more respect for each other as well as chemistry. Bakugo tightens his fist as he approaches the battleground. Deku stays calm and composed, retrieving his maul from his inventory. He also realises that he can flood electricity into the head of the weapon and allow for a devastating strike. While destroying this guy, Bakugo declares, preparing himself for battle. Are you sure? I mean, we should just try and escape. Deku reasons, trying to actually be successful with the mission instead of wanting violence. Bakugo just looks at him with disgust. Why would he not want a glorious battle after all the training they have done? How weak could his mind be? All Might appears and the fight begins. All Might races down the open street and Deku prepares himself. Where's those bombs of yours? Bakugo exclaims, looking around for the supposed bombs that he's talking about. Deku retrieves 2 capsules from his inventory, filled with Bakugo's palm sweat. Deku throws one up lightly, then throws it up. He uses Ter's Might and spins violently, volleying it at their enemy with his maul. The bomb races at All Might and hits his raised arms, exploding violently. All Might actually falls back a step and Deku leaps into the smoke and strikes down his maul. All Might blocks and kicks him away, but he rolls once and stops himself by trapping his maul in the ground below. Bakugo now! Bakugo propels himself forward with his explosions and leaps off Deku's back. Deku also pushes himself up to give Bakugo an even better push. Bakugo raises himself higher with even more explosions and the purple streams of energy appear on his right arm. His fist glows as he dives down from meters above. All Might does dodge, but the punch is extremely powerful. Bakugo destroys the street ground below and leaves his fist jammed in the ground. Impressive, Bakugo. I'm surprised by your progress of my power, he says joyfully, while snapping back into his fake and dark demeanor since he's supposed to be a villain. Bakugo rips his fist from the ground in annoyance and takes off his heavy gauntlets. I don't need those. Deku, use another one of those bombs. Deku throws one of the capsules up and spin hits it at their opponent as if he's a skilled baseballer. The capsule soars through the air at amazing speed and Deku then goes on to heal Bakugo's strained arm in the process. The explosion is even more destructive from Deku's higher swinging force and makes All Might fall back a step again. Deku begins using Thor's Rage after Ter's Might fades. Deku rushes at their opponent and Bakugo follows after him with his explosions. Deku swivel kicks him away but then plants his feet and strikes ahead with a straight left. Bakugo leaps off his back and strikes down with a double hand explosion. This doesn't do much damage to All Might at all but blinds him. Deku takes his maul and strikes right at his knee bone. He swivels his maul to the left and tries to strike up at his head, but All Might grabs the weapon. The force completely stops Deku's movement. This amazing strength really intimidates Deku and leaves him in shock. Unluckily, it takes his mind off the fight for a split second. Bakugo notices his stuck posture and wonders what's going on. This is when he is kicked into a nearby wall. All Might rips the weapon from Deku's grasp and throws it to the side. Deku uses his powerful skill to just carry on fighting and pressuring All Might. His swift attacks are impressive, but All Might blocks or dodges every single attack that comes his way. This skill eventually fades and he is kneed in the gut before being slammed into a nearby wall. You have been inflicted with severe blunt damage, minus 60 HP. Minus 60, he blurts out, holding his hurt arm. However, he starts to use his electricity and starts slowly healing, but he is just punched through the building. Bakugo sees Deku getting laid out and just runs in to try and stop their opponent. He himself is heavily bruised and beat up. He has blood dripping down his turned arms and his hair has become more scruffy than usual. He latches onto All Might's back, then begins glowing his palms. Go Deku! He releases an absolutely massive explosion that destroys the building wall, causing it to cave in. Due to the cluster of debris and brick, Bakugo is launched through it by the powerful hero. You've been inflicted with severe, blunt and cutting damage, minus 50 HP. Your HP has dropped to critical levels. Return to healthy levels as soon as possible. Emergency physical boosts have been provided. The horns fire off again. He is surrounded by the roars of warriors and sounds of battle horns. He smells the breath of the Scandinavian warriors, mixed with the pleasant scent of mead and herbs. The very ground beneath his feet switches to a darker, bloodier surface. Shields and blades are scattered around him, and the only person left standing is a tall warrior. He doesn't know anything about what is going on except that the person facing him is an enemy. Loki, he exclaims, paying no attention to his true surroundings and reality. He looks back down and returns to the real battle site. His eyes are tinted with rage and coloured with the need for battle. Thor's rage activated. The electrical output is crazy. Alongside the sound of his roar, streams of energy appear across both of Bakugo's arms and he shouts, "That's more like it." So that will conclude the 6th part of What If Deku had a stat level in Quirk. As you can see, there was a lot of action. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and I don't think the action is stopping anytime soon. If you guys want to see further parts of this What If, then please subscribe and turn on post notifications. If there's anything I can improve on for the next part, please put it into the comments so I can make this What If as good as possible. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.